Hi, my name is Salina.
And my name's Eun Sol.
And you're listening to Real Talk, where we talk for real about all the fuck.
Leave that in.
And you're listening to Real Talk, where we talk for real about the most recent movies we've watched.
Today's episode is going to be about just Barbie, not Barbenheimer. Because I'm in Korea, so I don't get to Barbenheimer because Oppenheimer comes out mid-August.
Unfortunately. It's crazy you didn't get the Barbenheimer experience. Yeah, it's been insane. I live near New York, and everyone, well, I'm exaggerating, but everyone in New York is deep into the Barbenheimer phenomenon. Like, the entire weekend last week, everyone was dressed up in pink. Everyone was talking about Barbenheimer. I was just sitting at a cafe, and the group next to me was talking about Barbenheimer. I get on a subway, I see someone dressed in all pink. I get to the theater, 80% of the people are dressed in pink. So it was insane. I don't think I've experienced anything like this.
That's gotta be cool to experience.
Yeah, you're living through history, like a historical moment. It was crazy.
Did you hear apparently the last time this happened was Batman something?
Mamma Mia and Batman.
Yeah. Another Chris Nolan movie.
I can't imagine, though.
It was a long time ago.
Okay.
Also, didn't you tell me you were wearing black instead of pink?
I was. I had like a dark red top and a black jean pant.
Oh, okay. I thought it was all black because you guys didn't have anything pink.
It was supposed to be, but all of my black tops were in the laundry bag, so.
Okay.
Yeah, but my friend wore all black, so.
It's more fitting anyway. We're not too Barbie-like.
But in the Barbie movie, there is a scene where all the Kens were wearing all black, so it works.
Oh, when they were one of the dancing bits?
Yeah.
So onto Barbie?
Yeah. So, well, my Barbenheimer experience, I watched Oppenheimer at 10 a.m. in Manhattan first. I had to travel from New Jersey. And Oppenheimer ended around 2:30, 2 p.m. And then me and my friend went to get dim sum, had dim sum for an hour or two, and then we went to Barbie at 4 p.m., which ended around 6:30. That was my day.
That was a week ago.
That was a week ago, yeah.
I went to Barbie opening night, not necessarily on purpose, it just happened to be opening night that worked.
Okay.
And I was sitting next to these teens who were so annoying.
I'm sorry.
Like, you were telling me you had a good audience who like laughed at the right parts, and it just made the overall experience more fun. But me, it was the kids next to me were laughing at all the wrong parts and making pointless comments like, "Oh, Chanel!" When that one Chanel bag, I think it was, when Barbie or Margot Robbie was dressed in all Chanel. They were like, "Oh, Chanel,
that, dude."
Yeah, oh, Chanel. Oh, look at him. Oh, haha, that's so funny. Why the hell are you saying that's so funny? Oh, it's so annoying. I just wanted to. So yeah. I just wanted to I don't know what even. It was just so frustrating.
That sucks. Yeah, dude, I hate a bad audience.
Yeah, I hated this audience. And no one laughed at, for example, the 2001 parody in the beginning. I'm pretty sure no one got it. Or anything else, really.
Damn. Yeah, everyone laughed at that in my theater. They laughed at everything. They laughed at Pride and Prejudice.
Oh, that's my favorite bit. We can talk about it later, but that was my favorite.
Can. I was gonna list all the other things they laughed about, that would include talking about a lot of them.
Yeah, right. There were a lot of movie references, though. Kind of like, what's that? Scream?
Scream? Yeah. Yeah, it was like meta narrative.
Right.
Yeah.
Did it remind you of Scream?
A little bit. But to me, it's one of the movies in the, meta movie canon or meta movie genre. I was gonna say something. Oh, yeah, just the meta-ness of the movie is self-aware that it's about a plastic doll, like a toy. And so it really leans into that, which makes it really easy for it to be meta about everything else in the world. Like brands, like corporate culture, patriarchy.
Yeah, the patriarchy bit. Okay.
Yeah.
Did you have Barbies as a kid?
I did. I played with a lot of Barbies, which is weird because I don't
Really?
care about them now. Yeah. I was conditioned to play with Barbies because my parents bought me them.
I mean, so did my parents, but all I did was, like, pull them apart, their limbs.
Oh my god, okay. I don't think I did that.
No, it's not violent. It's just I didn't see the point in these dolls. Like, what would I be doing with them? I wasn't very creative, I guess. So I just wanted to see how, like, the sockets worked or something. So I would pull them apart and put them back together.
Dude, see, born engineer. You're where you're supposed to be.
I hate being an engineer.
Okay. Well, I did cut my Barbie's hair, and I did, like, make-believe story time.
Aw.
Where they're, like, acting. I don't know.
What?
Yeah, but I stopped playing with them at some point. They were whatever.
So you feel no connection to that period of playing with Barbies at all when you saw this movie?
Honestly, no. I think because it was just such, like, a... Or maybe I'm just not very connected to some of my childhood experiences.
Oh, okay.
Oops. I just remember not had past tense, but I still have this cousin.
Uh-huh.
We're around the same age, and she would, like, steal my Barbie dolls and get jealous at me for having certain kinds of Barbie dolls that she doesn't.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, that's the strongest memory I have of playing Barbie. Oh, or maybe because I'm such a different person now compared to when I was a kid. That's why I feel disconnected to Barbies.
Okay, so not at all like, what's her name in the movie? The mom?
Ferrera's character?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, her name was Gloria.
Yeah, sorry. Maybe I didn't resonate with Gloria all that much, but I did like her character.
Yeah, same.
So we did talk a bit about the movie before we recorded the podcast, maybe a little too much. But I mean...
We try not to do that. But,
yeah. I mean, initially, your impressions of the movie weren't as strong as mine. So should we explore that gap?
I don't know if it's because of the audience or my bad experience, but I didn't really like the movie. But it was also like, what would you expect from a movie about Barbie? This is probably the best they could do with a premise like this.
Yeah.
And it's meant to be meta and whatever, self-aware, but also I'm kind of getting sick of those movies because it's like all of them want to be meta now. And it's getting not meta. It's getting more mainstream. At least that's how I feel.
Okay, but...
Or it's not clever enough? I don't know.
I would disagree. I think it was clever for the people that enjoyed it. But it wasn't like, wow.
It sounds like only clever people enjoyed the movie.
No. I did not mean that. I mean, the movie was clever for people that enjoyed it, I would say. At least...
That's...
not that clever people enjoyed it, but that...
Okay, yeah.
What was I gonna say? So I think one way to approach it is to see what the movie is trying to do. And for me, at least, like when I walked out of the theater, the movie was first and foremost like a comedy.
Mm-hmm.
And I thought it was a really delightful comedy. And for me, the first movie that came to mind when comparing this movie with other movies is Clueless. Yeah, so it's okay. It's one of those movies that can join this group of Clueless, Legally Blonde category. Yeah, because it's funny. It's about this, like, dim-witted girl, but on the extra side, it's about Barbie in a Barbie world, and the real world, I guess. And it's about Kens. So I didn't take the movie as seriously as I would a serious movie, and I had a great time.
I think I would have had a great time if it wasn't for the stupid teenagers, but I did laugh a lot, and I actually, like, almost teared up probably twice, or felt something twice.
Dude, and you say you didn't like it that much?
Maybe it wasn't the movie. Maybe it was literally just the kids next to me.
No, I really think the audience matters so much. And I was listening to The Big Picture too, which is another movie podcast. But Sean Fennessy, the host, he was also talking about how the audience makes such a big difference for this movie. He said he felt like he was going to a party, and it was a great time.
I was trying to... That episode, by the way, is 2 hours long, and I was trying to listen to it on my bus ride over back here. Mm-hmm. And, yeah, I fell asleep. No fault of the podcast. I was just very tired.
Sure, I'm kidding. Yeah. No, I mean, before I even got into the theater, it felt like a party. Like, everyone in the AMC was so dressed amazing. Up. And then once we got in, like, most of them were adult viewers. So the adults laughed at all the right adult parts.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
Not like stupid kids.
Yeah. Speaking of kids, there's also the question of whether or not this film is for kids. I mean, to some extent it is targeted at kids, but also I think I texted you about how some of the references are a little more high level, which means kids probably wouldn't get. Like, kids wouldn't get the Pride and Prejudice segment. Right?
Right.
Yeah. Because
straight up children's movies wouldn't go into a bit like that, where it's obviously only for adults, right? Even though they have more subtle underlying messages that are for adults.
Yeah, and the Pride and Prejudice bit was for, like, a different generation of adults, like...
Yeah, not even us.
Adults, yeah. But it worked for you, so that's cool.
I laughed so loud, and I think I was the only one. Okay. I was laughing so hard at that, because it's so relatable. Except my Darcy, personally, is McFadden. Okay. Is his name Joe Wright, the director? Joe Wright's Pride and Prejudice? Yeah, Joe Wright.
Yeah, and that Pride and Prejudice segment was part of that whole larger segment where they talked about depression and anxiety, Barbie, which you forgot about, apparently.
Sort of.
Okay, well, that was so funny. It was like a little commercial montage. I forgot when it came up in the movie, like timeline-wise, but it became like a little commercial where they showed these really stressed out looking unpretty Barbie dolls with like fuzzy hair. And they were like, oh, these new OCD, depression, anxiety Barbies are going on sale. And that was so funny. The entire theater cracked up. Yeah. And they were likening that experience of, like, depression and anxiety to, like, someone who would binge watch Pride and Prejudice and be depressed all day.
I feel personally attacked.
I didn't name drop or say it was you.
Oh. At least I know I'm not alone.
Yeah, and that's also a weird segment for kids per se, but...
Yeah, that might be way too mature. If I was a kid watching this and they were talking about OCD and depression, I'd be like, what is that?
Yeah, right? Yeah. Also, like, I found the references to the Supreme Court really funny. I don't know if you remember, like, Barbie first goes to the real world, and she sees a billboard with photos of, like, Miss America, and she points to them and was like, oh my god, look, the Supreme Court!
Yeah.
That was so funny. Yeah. And, like, yes, Supreme Court references also isn't something that kids would grasp, but...
No, you're right, yeah. No wonder the idiots next to me didn't laugh at any of the... Okay, yeah.
Yeah, but some people say, like, there's something for everybody. Like, kids could still enjoy it, but it's also made for older audiences. And then a big part of the conversation is how it's for people that love and hate Barbie, apparently.
Yeah, it really does target everybody, doesn't it? Maybe kind of, when I was watching it, I kind of got the impression that, what about guys? How do they feel watching this? I can't imagine watching this as a guy and particularly liking it much.
Okay.
Until maybe towards the end when there was more Ken's conflict stuff, when it was mostly Barbie and very feminist messages, I kind of felt like guys probably aren't enjoying this as much. I don't know.
I think guys who are sexist will definitely not enjoy it, but the guys in my theater were having a great time.
Okay.
There's this middle-aged guy who kept going ha 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 at all these adult jokes. I mean, also it's a New York audience, so they would be like liberal and would get a lot of the references, cultured.
But I feel like it's not... I think the reason I felt weird about it was I felt like if a guy were to say he didn't enjoy the movie, he'd be labeled as sexist or something. I think I could see that happening.
You mean he would be liberal and not sexist, or?
No, he would be labeled as sexist if he were to say that he did not enjoy the movie.
Maybe, yeah.
That would definitely happen in the States.
But also, apparently a lot of the negative comments about Barbie, well, some of them from guys, is that it's about feminism.
Right, exactly.
So it does mean that they are sexist, I guess.
Yeah, okay.
And what did you think about the performances? Margot Robbie, Ryan Gosling, Simu Liu, Barbies.
Ugh. I mean, actually, you know what? None of the performances were distracting or anything, except what really sort of distracted me was Scott Evans. He was one of the Kens. He's Chris Evans' brother.
Oh my gosh. Who is Scott Evans?
He's an actor. He's Chris Evans' brother. And I wasn't sure because I didn't know before the movie. And I was looking at him like, that looks a lot like Chris Evans' brother. This is kind of killing me. And also, I did enjoy his his Ken.
You did or didn't?
Did not.
Oh yeah, dude, I don't even remember.
Or Simu's Ken. I did not enjoy Simu's Ken either. But
really?
It didn't really matter because he really didn't matter in the movie anyway.
Yeah, I think Simu's Ken is more like a foil to Ryan Gosling's Ken. Someone there to...
And also there for the Asian representation.
I guess so. But I feel like it made sense to have casted Simu for that role. Like, he fit that annoying role pretty well. That role of, like, an annoying Ken.
You're right. Maybe that's why it didn't make me so mad, because his character is meant to be annoying, and I find him annoying.
Yeah. Yeah, and if you take it as annoying Ken, then you also find it funny that he's doing all these things on screen. Also, don't know if you noticed I'm exaggerating, but half of Sex Education was there, the cast of Sex Education. Have you seen Sex Education?
No, I did not realize at all.
Damn. So one of the Barbie, the physicist, I think, Emma Mackey, she was in Sex Education. One of the corporate guys, I don't know if he was an intern or just an employee, but the guy who was working in the basement of Mattel, and then he went up the elevator, he was also in Sex Education.
No idea.
Okay. And one of the Kens was in Sex Education.
Was there a meta message there, or was that just...
I think that was just a coincidence, or maybe Greta Gerwig really liked them.
Mm-hmm. I really, really enjoyed Ryan Gosling's performance because he has impeccable comedic timing.
Yes.
I don't think you've watched The Nice Guys with Russell Crowe and Ryan Gosling, but it's funny. You should watch it.
I will watch it.
Like, he's great. And yeah, and when he was on SNL, it was also great.
Okay, cool. Yeah, he was great in this. And some people are saying he should be nominated for Best Supporting Actor for the Oscars.
I don't think he will, but okay.
Okay, they say it also depends on, like, the slate. Who else gets nominated?
Be honest. When Ryan Gosling was on screen, where were you looking?
What do you mean? Oh, okay, look, I don't always get caught up by physical appearance. So, I was looking at his face and I was listening to his dialogue. Except the part where he wore this jacket and nothing underneath.
Oh, like a vest?
Yeah.
Okay.
And you can really see the lines.
No further comment.
Some people were saying Margot Robbie's performance was really great too. Like, it's worthy of also Best Actress nomination, at least. Nomination.
Yeah, it was good.
Yeah.
She's really good at crying on cue, and I could tell that came in useful when she first went into the real world. And you know that scene where there's an old lady sitting on the bench and she looks at her and she's like, "You're so beautiful."
Yeah, that was a nice scene.
That part actually made me tear up. I really liked that scene.
It moved me, yeah.
Yeah, it was really moving. Apparently that old lady is a costume designer.
Oh.
Called Anne Roth, and she's friends with Greta Gerwig.
Mm-hmm.
And I saw an interview where Greta was talking about how that scene is what the whole movie is about. How, I forgot what she said exactly, but she said that scene is like the heart of the movie. And I would agree.
Yeah, I would agree too. I was very moved.
I feel like Korea really needs that message because people here are literally plastic. Like,
good one. Oh my gosh.
They're literally plastic, and they could really use that. They are so... I guess this is a whole other thing, but...
Go for it. Yeah, people in this podcast also need
to know how fucked up this place is.
Yeah.
No, it's just they're so particular about how everyone should look, and it really is literally one ideal Barbie, and it's still that way, and everyone will get plastic surgery to look that way, and they would not look at that old lady and say that she's beautiful. They would never say that because she's wrinkled and old, and that can never be beautiful here. So they really need this. I don't think anyone would have gotten it though.
Damn. Yeah, I know. Speaking of, since I live in like New York City, which is essentially a liberal bubble, that message might seem trite or something that everyone supposedly knows, but I forget that there are still places like Korea where you really need this message. But at the same time, as you said, they probably won't get it. So I don't know. Yep. Damn. Yeah, you're right. It really speaks to that. So what do you think the message of Barbie is?
I was gonna put that on you and ask you what it was. Because honestly, I forgot most of the movie. I saw it like 2 weeks ago.
Okay. Also, in all honesty, as I mentioned before, like when I walked out of the theater, I wasn't really thinking about the message. I just thought about how it was such a great comedic experience.
Okay, mostly the comedy. Well, if you've seen Greta Gerwig's other movies, it's very much like those. I guess it's like what it means to be a woman, life struggles, everything really.
Yeah, no, you're definitely right. Yeah, it's about also finding yourself as a woman or a person in this world that cares so much about superficiality. Yeah, it was also funny when Barbie goes into the real world and starts getting like low-key harassed by men, like the one guy who slapped her butt and she turns around and punches him.
Yeah, we all have that experience of like walking the streets and getting catcalled.
Yeah, but she knew how to defend herself because this was like abnormal to her.
Right.
So I actually thought, now in retrospect, it was really clever how they reversed Barbie world with the real world. I think that was a really interesting reversal.
Yeah, and how they went to the real world and you could see the differences.
Yeah, and how, I don't know if Barbie world was a matriarchy or like a Barbie-archy, but...
Same thing, I suppose.
Yeah. Yeah, so that was super interesting now that I think about it.
Yeah, it was. It was clever. And a lot of the messages or a lot of the funny bits about how unlike Barbie Land the real world is was centered around the states. So like the Supreme Court, what else? The presidents on the...
Oh, Mount Rushmore?
Yeah, Mount Rushmore, and everything was just centered on the states, and I don't think anyone else was really getting it.
Oh, in your theater, you mean?
Yeah.
Yeah, also, do you remember, like, the montage of patriarchy when Ken was, like, walking around California, and then you start seeing, like, clips of horses, men, guns, maybe, like, him discovering the patriarchy?
Yeah, that was hilarious.
Yeah, that was funny, but that was also, I think, maybe American-centric, and I wonder if that resonates with the men of other countries.
I mean, in a way, yes, because aren't horses universally a masculine thing?
True, perhaps.
But yeah, the guns and stuff, it was very American, the whole movie.
But did you realize that the majority of cast wasn't American?
No, I did not, but I'm not that surprised. I feel like that happens a lot, where it's foreigners playing Americans.
Yeah, I think another conversation about the movie that I heard of was people were surprised that a lot of the cast wasn't American. All the leads... most of the side characters.
Yeah, Ryan's Canadian.
Simu is also Canadian.
Oh, yeah.
Margot's Australian.
Uh-huh.
Okay, so I think because Barbie acts a lot like... I mean, the movie behaves like a comedy. It's not meant to convey something that feels extremely deep or true to life in a way that a indie movie tries to be.
Right. Yeah.
So I am fine with the fact that it's not something that's incredibly deep or makes you want to write a 100-page essay about. But I feel like you could do that with Barbie still. You could try to pick out some themes and elements and still do that. But
initially it's more in your face, and that's kind of the part I didn't like about its deep message.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's fair. Yeah, I guess that's also what makes it undeep, the fact that it's in your face. But also that's intentional, I would say. Because it's a plastic world. It's a very in-your-face world.
Yeah.
And for me, it worked. It worked that the messaging was also in your face. Because everything was so in your face. So maybe because I just don't like cringy teenagers. Or moody teenagers. But initially, when that teenage girl, I forgot her name, came up, I was like,
Yeah.
But I mean, that's how it is, I guess. That's how.
I didn't really care for her. I mean, who likes teenagers?
Yeah.
Nobody.
Yeah. Yeah, you're right. Unfortunately.
Only teenagers like teenagers. And we're saying this as people 3 years out of teenagehood, or whatever you call it. By the way, Ken's I Am Kenuff t-shirt, that's hilarious.
Oh, yeah. That's cute.
That's so Ken. And you know who needs that? Kendall Roy.
Well, no, this works. Yeah, I've seen a lot of, like, Kendall Roy memes.
Yeah,
too.
and they work
My friend
so
has been
well.
sending them to me. Yeah. Yeah, he is a Ken.
Oh.
Depression Ken.
Oh, okay.
Also, I know we talked a little bit about the opening, like the 2001 Space Odyssey reference.
Mm-hmm.
But after that opening, you see Barbie World and Margot Robbie floating out of her room. And you hear the narrator. Don't know if you remember, but I think the narrator was...
Helen Mirren.
I don't... Sorry?
Helen Mirren's the narrator. That was great.
Okay, cool.
Yeah. Dame Helen Mirren.
Yeah, that was really great. And also, Lizzo's song
No idea.
that started narrating Barbie World.
Oh.
So a song kicks in. I
And
think
where
that
the
was
lyrics
Lizzo.
are totally, like, corresponding with the movie.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, that was really good too. And there were two versions. The second version was when something went wrong
Okay.
with Barbie World. Yeah, that I thought I had a great time with that. That was really well done.
Yeah, that was funny. I wonder who wrote the lyrics. It's gotta be whoever wrote Barbie, right? Which is Greta?
Greta Gerwig?
Yeah.
Yeah, probably. And Noah Baumbach.
Yeah, right.
In
Haha.
parentheses.
Mojo Dojo Casa House. Sorry, that's just stuck in my head.
What about it?
Do you want to come to a Mojo Dojo Casa House? It reminded me of...
Yeah, that was funny too.
How in Spider-Verse, they're like, chai tea is like saying tea.
Chai tea? Yes. I was thinking about that today. Oh my gosh. Yeah.
And it's like Casa House. Okay, house.
Yeah. Yeah, it's such a coincidence that two movies this year did that.
Yeah, true.
Yeah. Did you find also the part where Gloria's husband came up and he was practicing Spanish every time he came up?
Yeah. That was cute.
Yeah, it was so funny when it cut to the scene where he starts... He was using Duolingo, apparently, and he was, like, saying bolígrafos.
Which means?
I don't know.
You should be improving on your Spanish, and you know it.
I know. I don't know. I should have looked that up, but...
And I guess a lot of movies these days they have these jokes that are for the Spanish-speaking audience in the States.
Mm-hmm.
And this movie was one of them.
Yeah, you're right.
I forgot what other movies, but I remember recently seeing at least two movies that were also like that.
Spider-Man.
Oh, yeah, it was. Yeah.
I forgot to mention this in the beginning, but I think I also told you over text, but much of the exposition or opening of Barbie we've already seen, like, through commercials and teaser trailers, video clips that they released.
If you've watched them.
Yeah, you're right. Which I did, unfortunately. But it was fine. So for the first, 10-15 minutes, I wasn't sure how much novelty I would feel or how surprised I would be by the movie. But by the end, I was pleasantly surprised by how much I enjoyed it. It was just, the first 10-15 minutes of content that I've already seen where I was, unsure about where I was going. Because we've seen so much of it already.
Okay. I hadn't seen much of it. I only saw the first initial trailer and then stopped looking at anything Barbie just because I did not like the first trailer.
Okay, which one was the first trailer?
The one that just teased the cast and it has that clip of Simu dancing like this.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, that one.
Dude, I loved the first trailer. I thought it was fun. I don't know, I saw it and I got the vibe of the movie, it was going to be, fun, slapstick, unserious.
Right.
Yeah, and I got excited.
Speaking of dancing, maybe this is completely random, but Ryan Gosling, you know how he used to dance as a kid? He was a dancer. And I swear some of the moves he was doing when he was dancing was, a callback to his days dancing as a kid, and it was so funny just to see him dancing like that again.
Maybe it was.
Yeah, maybe.
What did you think about the music?
Right, back to the music. Didn't notice it much. By the end credits, they're playing Billie Eilish's song, which when I initially heard it, I was like, oh, what's that song? That's about it, to be honest. And the Lizzo one was funny. Didn't Nicki Minaj or whoever the hell sang Barbie something again for this?
Yeah, I'm a Barbie girl.
Yeah, in a Barbie
like a
world.
remix of that. Yeah.
Don't remember hearing it though.
I think maybe it was there at some point, but I don't remember either. The one song that I really liked was like Charlie XCX's version of like, "Hey Barbie, you're so fine, you blow my mind."
Oh.
Yeah, I loved that. I was like jamming to that. That was fun.
Maybe I should start jamming to it when I drive to work.
Yeah. Yeah, I thought the music worked really well. I really loved the music. And apparently it was arranged by Mark Ronson, or Mark Ronson did the score.
Oh no. Okay.
Why not?
Just, one of those names that are like, him again.
Okay. I wished there was more Dua Lipa in the movie, but it's fine. At least she appeared.
What? She was in the movie?
Dua Lipa? Yeah, dude, she was Mermaid Barbie.
I remember there being John Cena when there were mermaids. Was she with John Cena? I remember there being John Cena when there were mermaids. He was there.
And Dua Lipa.
Okay, so it was
who was
them.
serving him.
Oh. Yeah. No, I was just looking at him.
Oh, wow.
No, it's not like that. But it's just like he's so big and like you're just looking at him. I didn't see her at all.
Yeah, he was out of place.
Yeah, very much.
It's okay.
Apparently he wasn't he wasn't even meant to be in the movie. He was just there because he ran into Margot or something, and Margot was like, "Do you want to be in Barbie?"
Really?
Yeah. It's like
a
very random, spontaneous thing.
Interesting. Yeah, I didn't care for his appearance. Felt wrong, but it's okay.
Yeah, I don't care for his acting in general, period.
Yeah. Well, Lipa was also putting on an American accent, not that you remember, but that was...
Is she not American?
She's British.
Oh, I'm so not in touch with, or I don't know what, I'm so not in this culture of America, or like mainstream music. I don't know anything.
Okay, that's fine. It's okay.
I guess that's why the music mattered less to me.
I'm not gonna judge you.
I feel judged.
I normally don't listen to anyone on the soundtrack except for Dua Lipa.
Okay, that's kind of surprising that you would listen to Dua Lipa.
Oh, I love Dua Lipa.
Oh, what?
She has that retro disco vibe going on. At least her previous album. Yeah, I really like that.
Interesting. Well,
and she's just cool.
Oh, have you been listening to the soundtrack after watching the movie?
Not as much as I thought I would be. Not much, actually, no.
Oh, no Barbie energy, no Kenergy in your work week?
One time at work, I played the soundtrack because I needed some motivation.
Yeah.
But that was it.
You know what doesn't work on me anymore? Listening to the Succession soundtrack to concentrate. It no longer works.
Same.
Oh, we've used it up.
Yeah, I know.
Did you end up getting that record?
No. Maybe one day I'll be rich enough to dish out $180 for a vinyl.
Yeah.
But not today.
For the Succession soundtrack. Season 1.
Yeah, because it's high in demand, but they only released 100 or 1,000 copies. Probably 1,000. And they're all sold out. So people are selling them again, like reselling them for a much higher price.
Crazy.
Yeah. Capitalists. Like the Mattel bosses.
Oh, speaking of Mattel, I did not enjoy Will Ferrell in the movie.
Yeah, I think they underused him.
Yeah.
Maybe.
There was one bit that was just like from his comedic timing or nature that made me laugh, but yeah, in the movie, not really. I'm a fan of Will Ferrell, but in the movie, not really.
He was more of a caricature in the movie. Like, there wasn't too much to him. And his character arc was also, like, not logical. Like, doesn't really make sense. I don't know. I guess he wasn't even the real villain to begin with.
There was a villain? Who was the villain?
Or antagonist. Like, the Ken transition.
Okay. Well, you know what? I bet the men would have seen the Barbies as the antagonists.
Maybe, yeah. Yeah.
You remember when there was like a montage of all the discontinued Kens and Barbies?
Mm-hmm.
And among the discontinued Kens, there was a Sugar Daddy Ken, but that was apparently because his dog was named Sugar or something, and that was hilarious.
Yes, that was hilarious. That's so funny.
And the pregnant Barbie was also really funny.
Oh my gosh, yeah.
So disturbing.
Yeah, and when the pregnant Barbie appeared beside Will Ferrell
Yeah.
at the end, and he was like, oh.
That was funny.
Dude, yeah.
And there's...
Dude, kids wouldn't get any of this.
I guess not, yeah. Especially Sugar Daddy can't. Unless their dad's a Sugar Daddy.
Or unless they have a dog named Sugar.
Yeah, right. That's the way they would get it. And then they called their dad, like, I don't know what dogs are named these days. Were there any other Kens or Barbies that you really, other than, like, Depression Barbie and OCD Barbie or whatever, Anxiety Barbie?
I mean, I agree. I thought all the discontinued Barbie references were super funny.
And Creepy Barbie.
Yes, Creepy Barbie.
So many Barbies have been damaged like that.
Yeah. I thought it was a nice touch at the end, and maybe this was something you thought was cliche when you were first watching it, but I guess it's a nice touch when they included or created regular Barbie.
Oh, okay. Don't really remember.
With Gloria's character. She proposed for there to be a regular Barbie.
Wow, so novel.
Sorry. Yeah, but it was like, you know, nice and cheesy.
How is cheesy nice?
When everything else in the movie is cheesy, so you can overlook the fact that it's cheesy. But yeah, you know, so this is one of those movies where I can see how maybe on a first viewing someone wouldn't be able to get on board with it or found it cheesy and unnovel if they didn't have a good experience. Like, yeah. I feel like it treads a very thin line tonally where you just have to buy into the world to fully enjoy and experience.
Right, yeah. Maybe that's why they release so much. It's to kind of get you acclimated into the world that the movie's about.
Yeah, you're totally right. Yeah. Apparently they spent more on marketing than the actual movie.
What? Wow.
Like billions of dollars. Apparently. I could be wrong and I could be making this up, but I think.
Insane. On the other hand, Oppenheimer's like, they don't want you to see any of it or know anything particularly about the movie. And they like, and there was a joke about how they're not doing any marketing at all. Kind of true.
Okay. That is kind of true. Except in some of the AMCs, they have a countdown for Oppenheimer.
Okay. Speaking of Oppenheimer, look what I have on my desk.
Nice. American Prometheus.
Yeah.
How much have you read? Are you enjoying it?
Not much. Yeah, it's pretty good, actually. I've been reading it at work. No one at work is going to listen to this, so I'm a chapter, two chapters in.
Would you recommend it?
It's written very well, kind of like a novel. So yeah, if you want to, it's very long, and if you're not interested in science, which I guess I'm not, but it might be fun.
Okay. Yeah, I was very tempted to reference scenes and stuff from Oppenheimer here, but I won't.
Yeah, you can't. I will kill you.
Okay, I won't. Yeah.
Trying so hard to avoid anything.
Do you think you'll enjoy Oppenheimer? Do you think you'll love Oppenheimer?
What do you mean? What kind of question is that? I'm excited because Paul Schrader talked about how great it was. And he's like a reliable sort of reviewer for me, I suppose.
Okay, that's fair.
I don't like that smile on your face right now.
No, I'm just... Yeah.
But I'm getting the vibe that
Paul
it's
Schrader's
not...
totally a sane man. I'm kidding. He's great. I saw him in person a few months ago, and he's cool.
Yeah, which I hate you for. You said he was funny. You went to see Mishima?
Oh, yeah. I went to see Mishima, which was fantastic. And he was funny. He was sane. He was sane.
The reviews from Master Gardener, by the way, are coming in, and they are not looking good.
Yeah, they weren't looking good when they first released the movie last year too. Oh. But I'll still watch it, you know?
Yeah, same.
Oh, what did you think of Alan?
Right, I was gonna mention Alan when we were talking about the discontinued Kens and Barbies. Mm-hmm. I mean, good. And then Michael Cera was kind of perfect for Alan. Yeah.
Yeah, he was funny.
Yeah, he was.
Did you know, what's his name was supposed to be Alan?
That guy from that Netflix
Mindhunter.
Show. Yes.
How did I forget his name? I love him.
Yeah, exactly. I'm surprised. Does it start with a J?
Jonathan Groff.
And then he didn't accept it?
I don't know what happened. I'm not sure, maybe, I don't know. But it would have been a very different role.
Yeah, it would have been. I just saw an article title that said, in quotes, I can't believe I'm saying this, but I can't be Alan, or something like that.
Okay, interesting.
But yeah, Michael Cera was perfect for it.
He was, yeah. Was Alan gay?
Oh, I did not get those vibes. Now you're the one getting all the gay vibes from movies.
Because I've been seeing references about it, and yeah, they've been referencing him as gay.
Yeah, maybe kind of closeted.
Oh, maybe, yeah.
Overwhelmed by all this heterosexual energy.
Yeah, so he ended up hanging out with the girlies.
Yeah, trying to run away with them. The part when he beats up all the...
construction workers.
Yeah, trying to escape Barbie land.
Yeah, and the Barbies didn't even end up leaving.
Yeah. Something else I found really funny was when Margot Robbie's Barbie said, "I would never wear heels if my feet were shaped like this." Mm-hmm. And that's so true. It makes no sense that we still wear heels.
Yeah. Yeah, that was good.
That was pretty funny and relatable.
Yeah, that is true. Yeah. I wear a type of heel to work, but they're like flats with heels.
Like platforms?
Sort of. Low heels, but it's like disguised as a flat. I don't know how to call it, but...
Okay. I've literally only worn heels to prom and then my graduation ceremony in high school.
That makes sense. But also for people like me, you know, if you're short, sometimes that boost helps with your self-esteem.
Oh, really?
I don't know.
Okay.
Yeah.
And something else I wanted to note was I thought Helen Mirren's voiceover was great. I thought she was perfect as the narrator. Mm-hmm. And something else that was really funny that made me laugh out loud was when Margot Robbie's Barbie, once again, is crying and talking about how she feels not pretty. And then there's like a record scratch, and then you hear Helen Mirren go, "Note to filmmakers, Margot Robbie is not the right person to cast to make this point."
Yeah.
And that was so funny.
That was...
I was laughing so hard, I was cackling.
Yeah, same. Yeah. Dude, I loved that. Like, the narrator just said what everyone was thinking.
Yeah, right,
so
exactly.
Yeah. Yeah, and I'm glad that it was so self-aware like that. It just makes the movie work for me. But also, I guess it really helps that Margot Robbie's acting felt so sincere, too. Even though as someone who's, like, really beautiful and gorgeous, you can feel, like, the innocence of her Barbie character.
Yeah, you're right. She probably still feels that way as a woman, and especially as someone in Hollywood.
Yeah.
All these insecurities.
Yeah. And I was looking at some of her interviews recently, and she seems like a pretty genuine person, surprisingly.
Oh, really?
For a lot of the Barbie interviews, she seems to be more informative. Like, she starts talking about, like, the related themes of the movie, and she seems really invested and passionate about it. So I thought that seemed quite sincere. Yeah.
Oh, is that because she's a producer?
Yeah, that too.
Oh, is she a producer on this film?
She is.
Oh, okay. That makes sense.
Apparently she pitched it to Warner Brothers, too.
Oh, wow. Oh, something I wanted to ask you was, who would you have liked to see as a Ken or Barbie? Who do you think would have been a good Ken or Barbie that we didn't get to see in the movie?
Good question. Damn. I guess because outside of the movie, I don't care for Barbies and Kens. I didn't have anyone in mind. But now that you previously mentioned Scott Evans, I would have liked to see Chris Evans as a Ken.
Right, yeah. Me too.
Yeah, and because the Barbies in this movie were so diverse, I guess, like, anyone could have been a Barbie, honestly. Like, there's probably no one person that...
True. But there are some Kens that I thought I would have liked to see.
Okay, who are your Kens?
Well, first of all, these are just actors that I like for one reason or another. Mm-hmm. But I'm mentioning them mostly because they can be really funny on screen. And one of them is Brad Pitt.
Okay. I felt like that would have been...
He had a cameo in Deadpool.
That's true. I felt like he would have been a little over the top, his presence in the movie.
Yeah, you're right. I mean, I'm not saying he should have been in the movie. I'm just saying that I would have liked to see him as Ken, or that I think he's a good candidate. Okay.
He could have been like an old Ken that made a cameo.
Yeah, okay, you're right. The movie's ageist. There were no old people.
Barbie Land is ageist.
Old Kens.
The movie is not ageist.
Oh, you're right.
Because the old woman comes up in the real world.
That's a good point. And someone else I was thinking of was like both Oscar Isaac and Pedro Pascal. They would have been funny. They're really funny guys.
They would have been. But also age group wise.
Oh, you're right. I don't know what that says about me. Okay, never mind.
They didn't.
Yeah. But to be fair, I'm pretty sure Ryan Gosling is around their age. So
Yeah. Apparently Gal Gadot was also a candidate for Barbie.
Yeah, right. I would have hated that. I would have hated it.
Yeah, I wouldn't have liked that either.
Since this is a Greta Gerwig movie, didn't you say you were seeing Frances Ha soon? Like next month?
August, yep.
Yeah, because I saw it quite recently and it reminded me a lot of Barbie.
Oh.
In some ways.
I saw that you gave it 3.5.
Did I? Okay, it could be 4 stars on a good day. I don't know. Like, okay. I liked it. But yeah, it's good. I think you'd like it.
Okay.
Oh, someone I follow on Letterboxd recently saw Frances Ha.
Me too. Someone I followed watched it recently.
Oh, it's May.
Oh. I guess because of Barbie, right?
No, she hasn't seen Barbie yet, but she will soon. But yeah, it's because of Barbie.
The person I know probably watched it because she just watched Barbie.
Yeah. It's kind of cool that people are discovering more of Greta Gerwig's movies or rewatching them because of Barbie.
Yeah. Speaking of Greta Gerwig, I don't know if you even noticed any of this, but any thoughts on like the directing?
Oh, I didn't really notice it.
I guess like comedic timing is part of directing too, so she was able to direct that and make sure it comes off the way it does. I mean, the whole movie is because of, I guess, her, yeah. I mean, the pacing.
Yeah, you're right. I just hadn't noticed the directing much.
Yeah.
But maybe it's good that I didn't notice, like...
Also, yeah, I guess smart choice of making Barbie world an actual plastic world where certain things aren't real.
Yeah, like the backdrops, I don't know if Wizard of Oz was like that. Was Wizard of Oz like that?
Oh, maybe, yeah.
Do you remember at one point the backdrop was of the Netherlands? There were like windmills and tulips.
Yeah. Riding the bikes.
Yeah, right. So Dutch.
Yeah.
You're right, it is because of her as a director.
Yeah. I mean, I guess everything, at least for me, everything came together so well because of her as a director.
Yeah, I hadn't really thought about it.
Yeah, actually, no, I watched an interview of hers yesterday and she just kept praising everyone else on the set, like the set production lead, the actors, and how she felt like she needed to be worthy for them. So in her eyes, the movie works because of them. And I guess it works because of everyone, but it's just, it was nice to see that she acknowledged them, even though she was also a very, very big part of its success.
Oh, that's nice. She wrote it too, right? So
yeah.
What do you think of her as an actress? Were you a fan of hers before as either a director or an actress? Or a screenwriter?
Honestly, I wasn't a huge fan. I also haven't seen her in a lot of movies as an actress, except for the most recent one was White Noise, which I did not enjoy, so that was my last impression of her. But I remember really enjoying Lady Bird. It was such a long time ago.
Yeah.
I also really enjoyed Little Woman. It was also a while ago.
Yeah, same. I haven't seen Little Women. I've only seen the old version with Christian Bale. But Lady Bird was good.
Yeah, this Little Woman was very good when I watched it.
Okay.
But back then I didn't have the capacity to understand what it means to be.
The same appreciation of cinema.
Yeah, well, and yeah, to see what makes a good director good.
Right, yeah.
So I feel like if I revisited those movies, I would, yeah, really love them. Because a lot of my friends were raving about either Little Woman or Lady Bird. A lot of people say Lady Bird is one of their favorite movies, so...
I saw Lady Bird quite recently. It's not that good.
Okay.
There's so many movies to revisit.
Yeah, so I'm definitely excited for her. Like, I'm definitely looking out for her new work.
Yeah, I'm excited for future movies. Maybe this is an overstatement, but because of this whole Barbenheimer thing, I feel like she's risen to the ranks of almost Chris Nolan.
Yeah.
Like, she's very well known and regarded now.
Also listening to a podcast that was talking about how she's now part of a specific set of actors of this generation. Sorry, not actors, directors of this generation. I forgot who they mentioned, but yeah, Chris Nolan is one. Someone else. They mentioned Jordan Peele, even though he's a bit older, but he also is like an up-and-coming director.
Yeah, cool.
Yeah, all of her movies have been like a hit. Nothing has been a miss yet, directing-wise.
Yeah, true.
So, even though, like, initially you told me you didn't like it that much, I feel like as you talked about it here today, it seems like you did, in retrospect, you did enjoy it, and you could really appreciate some of the moments.
Yeah, I guess as my anger towards the stupid teenagers faded, and I remembered the parts I liked about the movies, and as we talk about it, I realized that the movies was enjoyable.
Yeah, testament to the movie.
But still, it doesn't change the fact that I found parts cheesy or too in your face.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, all of what you said is fair, but for me, yeah, the cheesiness and the on-the-nose elements were the movie. Like, they made the movie. They were part of it.
Right, yeah. To be honest, I think I would have really enjoyed this movie if I went to watch it with you or, like, a better audience, and if we went out for drinks right after. Like, that kind of vibe. That would have been perfect.
Yeah, that would have been perfect, yeah. Yeah, I think anyone, and I guess this is what is happening to some people's viewing experience, but if you expect it, not you particularly, but if you expect it to be something that is like a cinematic masterpiece, like Oppenheimer, something that's serious and is like conventional.
Yeah, that's true.
Very cinematically conventional, then you wouldn't be going in with like the right expectations. You probably would be disappointed.
Yeah, that's true. I feel like you have to go in with the right, not really expectations, but
mindset.
Yeah, right, mindset. You need to go in with the right mindset.
I want to say just one thing about Oppenheimer. I'm just going to reference it, but...
Okay.
But in contrast to Barbie, right, Oppenheimer was a much more conventional movie.
Yeah, okay.
That's all I will say.
Okay, that's not saying much. By the way, did you enjoy that combination of Barbenheimer? Watching it on the same day?
It was like a long day. Like, all I did was watch movies and eat.
What? That sounds like the perfect day. What do you mean?
Yeah, I don't mind it. Oppenheimer was definitely longer. It felt longer. But I didn't mind it, yeah.
What does that mean, though, that you didn't mind it?
It means that they're just such different movies. It wasn't necessarily complimentary.
Okay. It sounds like you're more moved by Barbie than Oppenheimer.
Yeah, no, you're right. By the end of the movie, I was really moved. And while I was being moved, I thought to myself, wow, I'm so surprised I'm being moved by a Barbie movie. Yeah, so it snuck up on me. Not to continue talking about Oppenheimer, but Oppenheimer was more of like a cerebral experience, very dialogue driven. And yeah, you'd have to think a lot more during the movie, make sure you're following everything during the movie.
Yeah, like all of Chris Nolan's movies.
That is true, you're right, exactly.
But then, aren't all his previous films either science fiction or fiction at least?
Mm-hmm.
And this is the first non-fiction movie, so I don't really know what to expect. Mm-hmm. It's a bit different.
Yeah, I don't even know if I should rewatch the movie. It's 3 hours long, and I don't know if I'll feel differently after I rewatch it.
Have you seen Tenet, by the way? Did you rewatch Tenet in theaters?
I watched Tenet in theaters, and the audio system was so bad, but it was also a dialogue-driven movie, so I missed some dialogue. But I don't think I rewatched it, no.
Yeah, okay.
The Nolan movies that I've rewatched more than once, at least, are his Batman movies and also Interstellar.
Mm-hmm, yeah.
Memento 2, all great.
True. Dunkirk?
I don't remember when I saw Dunkirk.
What? Did you see it in theaters?
I don't know if I saw it in theaters or at home.
Okay, what did you think?
I don't remember. I remember thinking it was okay.
What? How could you? My god, I love Dunkirk. I think it's one of his best. You need to see it again.
Yeah. Okay, I remember Tom Hardy was in it, Harry Styles was in it.
Right, those are the things that a 16-year-old would remember, or whenever the movie came out. Cillian Murphy was in it as well. And who else? Barry Keoghan was in it.
Oh, yeah. I don't even remember him in it. When did you watch it?
I watched it in theaters when it came out. And actually, I was so pissed that day because I went to see it with a friend, and I think it was R-rated, at least where I was watching it in Vietnam. And when we went to the cinema to see it in IMAX, he fully knew it was R-rated. And he was telling the staff member that he was 16. Uh-huh. Like, why would you advertise that you're underage when you're going to see a movie? And then she was like, sorry, we can't let you in.
Oh.
And I've never heard that in Vietnam. I've never heard anyone saying you can't do something. Nothing is not allowed there.
Oh, wow.
So we ended up having to go to a shitty theater in Parks and Paragon. Do you remember Parks and Paragon?
Yes. Oh.
So yeah, we watched it there, and I was just so pissed the entire time I was watching it.
That's so funny. Dude, we used to go to Paragon.
Yeah, we did. I think it's closed now entirely.
Damn, I'm not surprised.
Yeah, true.
Shit. Jack Lowden was in Dunkirk.
Oh, really? I don't remember him in it.
Yeah, Kenneth Branagh too.
Yeah, I remember him. He was in it.
Okay, I was gonna say, like, okay, after watching Dunkirk, shortly after I watched 1917, which came out 2 years after, so maybe that time period made a difference, but I thought 1917 was a great movie.
Yeah, it was good, but I thought it was...
And enjoyed it more than Dunkirk.
Oh, okay. I enjoyed Dunkirk more. I liked 1917. It's just that I felt like a kind of... The whole making it look like one single shot deal felt like kind of a gimmick or like an accessory that was not necessary.
But that wasn't the point while you were watching the movie, though. Like, it was one part of the filmmaking.
Yeah, true. I mean, I guess there was a purpose. I guess it was just there to kind of... It was about the perspective, following that protagonist or whatever, but I don't know, I just didn't enjoy it. It felt too self-important.
It looked really nice, though, the supposed one take.
Yeah, it did. But I think I just think Dunkirk is better.
Okay.
Did you see Atonement, by the way? Another Joe Wright movie?
I don't think so. I'm probably when I was really young.
Oh, okay.
And I probably didn't understand much of it, but...
Yeah, I mean, a really different movie, but...
Yeah, my parents were really into those weird, sappy romance movies.
Oh, speaking of your parents, talk about how your name came to be, Salina.
Oh, my name is based on a movie based on a real Spanish singer, Salina, played by Jennifer Lopez in the movie Salina. Wow. Even though my parents spelled it wrong, I don't know if it was intentional.
Yeah. Is it not normally spelled that way? You need to ask them.
Okay, I will. Even if it was unintentional, there are people who exist named Salina spelled the same way. And there are places in the US called Salina.
Yeah, is it not common?
It's uncommon, but there are.
Okay.
What does your name mean?
It's purely Korean. It's not based on Chinese. It means some adjective and then pine cone. I'm looking up the English word for the adjective right now. Right, so it says it means delicate, soft, gentle,
pine cone,
and then pine cone.
Oh, wow. Yeah, I feel like we've covered a lot of Barbie. Is there anything else that we haven't talked about?
I think that's pretty much it for me. What about you?
Oh, okay. One last thing I think that might be relevant. So this movie is about a product by a company that wants to make money off the product. But it's also featured, the company is also featured in the movie. How do you feel about that? Like Mattel's involvement, Mattel's appearance, how the movie treats corporate culture / brand culture.
I just thought that whole Mattel and Will Ferrell bit was sort of unnecessary. I didn't really think about it, to be honest. But it sounds like you have thoughts about it. What do you think?
Not really, no. I feel like it, even though the brand is involved, the movie stands alone.
Yeah, true.
Without the brand. Also a testament to Greta Gerwig. I mean, yeah, sure. I guess it's another just one of the meta elements in the movie where they point to the corporation of Barbie. And also, it didn't take a stand on corporate culture. Like, oh yeah, at first Will Ferrell shows up and he seems antagonistic. He wants to capture Barbie. And at the end, you know, he makes peace with all the Barbies in Barbie Land, and they're going to create an ordinary Barbie. So it's not, I don't know, it's just there, but there's no, like...
I mean, it is making some sort of comment about powerful people.
Yeah, that's true.
In these positions in the real world. Like how they're all men and how their meetings are really pointless and inane. And it's just like using that as like a comedic sort of way to criticize things.
Yeah, no, it was very, very self-aware. And it's interesting that, I mean, it's cool that Mattel agreed to be made fun of while being featured.
Yeah.
But, speaking of the board meetings, I found the movie so relatable in a few ways. So in one of the board meetings, Will Ferrell says EOD, which means end of day. And I literally use that for my workplace. I send my boss an EOD update, and the tagline is literally Salina EOD update.
Oh yeah, we do that too at work.
Yeah, and I found that so funny because I started using that in my office work environment. And it's just so
relatable,
universal. And the ending of Barbie, when she goes into this office building after becoming human, and she asks to see her gynecologist.
What?
I don't know if this is TMI for listeners, but I recently also had an experience where my supervisors from Colombia, when I was working there, said I need to see a gynecologist if I haven't done so yet.
But are you saying that it's like an office thing where you talk about having to go to the gynecologist?
It's like a health checkup thing.
Right,
like apparently here in the States, it's like an essential health checkup thing for women.
Or another funny thing I want to bring up was how they talk about the Kens and Barbies not having any genitalia.
Yes, we need to talk about that. Yeah.
We somehow managed to bring up genitalia in every episode of this.
Dude.
Yeah, like that part when somebody, I forgot exactly what, was like, what's under these pants? And they say it's just like a smooth bulge.
Oh, yeah. Dude, yeah, see, the movie was funny.
Yeah.
The part I remember is when they got into the real world, Barbie and Ken started ranting very casually about how none of them has genitalia or boobs.
No, they have boobs.
I don't remember. I might be making that up, but...
They didn't say boobs.
Okay. But she was like telling some random guy on the street, oh yeah, none of us have X, Y, and Z.
Yeah. Can't believe we're saying boobs.
On this podcast.
We need to delete this. We need to cut this. Yeah, maybe.
Oh my god. Are you editing? Yeah. So, Barbie, I found delightful. It's also one of those movies where I feel like I could definitely rewatch again and again just because it's so fun. Like Clueless type of fun.
Yeah, it could be a comfort movie.
It is, yes. Definitely. Whereas Oppenheimer, I don't know if I could sit through 3 hours shortly after my first viewing.
No, that's not a good sign. But just as someone who's like interested in science, or I guess I'm not interested anymore, but this was a period when all the best scientists were alive. And they all worked on one thing together. And that's really interesting and remarkable.
Yeah.
So I'm excited for that.
So I learned a lot about some of these scientists and their work taking Brian Greene's class.
Wow,
junior
name
year.
dropping. Brian Greene.
Brian Greene. You can Google him if you don't know him. You should know him.
Mm-hmm.
But we're gonna cut this part out. But I told Mark this movie is Brian Greene's wet dream.
True. You should leave that in.
Yeah. So we learned about like Niels Bohr, Heisenberg, everyone in his class.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. If you're a person who likes physics, you're probably gonna like this movie just because of the content. I don't know. I'm excited. I mean,
fuck, I want to talk about this movie already, but I will hold back.
Okay.
we can save this.
Do you think you can wait 3 weeks until we can talk about it?
I think I would, yeah.
Okay. Do you think you'll remember?
Yeah. Seeing it on IMAX imprints everything into your brain. So.
I won't be able to see it in IMAX. It'll just be Dolby.
Dolby's good too. It's a very sound-driven movie too, so probably better.
Yeah, true. It's the only decent sound system I've experienced here.
Oh, I forgot to say, on the day that I went to watch Barbie with my friend Mark, he started calling everybody he met Barbie. So, like, the lady who scanned our tickets, he said, "Thank you, Barbie."
Oh, that's cute.
I know, and then there was this one guy with his dog by the toilet, and he waved at the dog and was like, "Hi, Barbie." and the owner started laughing and was like, "Haha, yeah."
So he was saying this to it's just Barbies? All the women and dogs?
Yeah.
No Kens?
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, no one cares about Ken. It's fine. One last thing. How did you feel about Ken becoming somewhat of a focus in the latter part of the movie? Because that's one of the... I don't know if criticism or comment is the right term to describe this, but people have been talking about that as well.
I liked it. I thought because the movie had been so centered on Barbie the whole time, we really needed to see Ken's perspective.
Yeah, I totally agree. I really liked that they went that direction. Also just made his character meaningful in the movie.
Yeah, and it balanced the movie out more.
Mm-hmm. Gender-wise as well.
Yeah.
Barbie was a good time, and I can't wait until we talk about Oppenheimer.
Me too.
Alright, I'm gonna get Vietnamese food later.
Lucky.
Oh.
I hate you.
Hate me, yes, hate me.
Where, in New Jersey?
Manhattan.
Chinatown?
East Village.
Oh.
Yeah, and then I'm gonna go practice driving with my colleague after.
What car?
Zip car. So it's like a hourly rental.
Dude, you just reminded me I have to drive tomorrow in like 8 hours.
Aren't you used to it by now?
Yeah, but then sometimes something traumatic happens that you don't expect.
Really? Oh my gosh, I'm scared now.
Oh no, don't be. You'll be fine.
That's all we have to say about Barbie for today. Thank you for listening to Real Talk. You can find us on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, or YouTube. This has been a Real Talk.
Bye, Barbie.
Bye, Barbie.